Joining us now for our bi-weekly segment with Oakland Schools is Jenelle Williams, the literacy consultant at Oakland Schools for our bi-weekly Oakland Schools Education Insider. Jenelle, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much. Glad to be here.
Yeah, glad to have you on with us to talk about literacy because it is such a critical issue in our schools and really is at the crux of learning in every single area of a child's education. So how does Oakland Schools support our local school districts in their literacy programs and improving those programs over time?
Sure. We offer a variety of services, anything from inviting educators to come to our facility and engage in professional learning. We also go into districts and work with leaders and educators. So whatever the need is, we work hard to meet that and provide the services to help improve literacy throughout our county.
And some of those programs that are through the intermediate school district through Oakland Schools, how do those connect ultimately to these school districts? Are they coming to you to ask for this assistance in their classroom, or are you providing these resources simply to them that they can tap into at any time?
Both are true. So we often will have central office leaders, district leaders, even teachers reaching out to us with specific needs. And then we also have access to data that tell us what the countywide needs might be for literacy, and that helps us plan for broad professional learning events that everyone can come to.
And especially in the earlier years, in the early childhood education, that being early elementary, I would say it's a better way to put it. This has been a growing issue over the last several years, given the COVID-19 pandemic, the way that affected learning in early elementary school, and especially literacy learning at that point in time. So how have these goals, how have these different programs changed in the last few years, and how has that impacted also the assistance that you're providing to individual teachers in classrooms and to individual school districts?
I focus primarily on secondary literacy, but I have some awesome colleagues at Oakland Schools that focus on early literacy. And they have been a part of a project called LEO that focuses primarily on kindergarten through third grade, but also includes fourth and fifth grade. And through that LEO project, they've provided professional learning. They've supported literacy coaches in participating districts, just a variety of supports that have been available. And that's really been a targeted approach over the last several years. And then additionally, we have folks at Oakland Schools that are tied into the overall statewide work in literacy. So in Michigan, we are lucky enough to have a suite of documents that focus on improving literacy from birth through grade 12. And a number of us are both a part of that statewide work, but also applying that work in our regional setting.
So at the secondary level where you specialize, as you mentioned, what are some of the common issues that have been popping up in recent years in our individual school districts, and how is Oakland County helping through Oakland Schools to support improving those issues and helping students either catch up to their grade level or even better yet, exceed that grade level learning?
Yeah, well, the key with adolescents is motivation and engagement, getting them interested in the learning to begin with. And from there, we can work on, filling out skills that perhaps they missed during the pandemic or aren't just connecting with at the levels we're looking for. So we really focus on educational approaches that are motivating and engaging, things where students see their lives in the learning. They see that it has meaning and impact, and that it can improve things in their community. And by focusing on that first, those meaningful reasons for students to engage in learning, we find that we're more successful in supporting their literacy growth as well. So I'm a part of a broader team at Oakland Schools that focuses on what we call disciplinary literacy, which might sound like it has something to do with behavior, but it doesn't. It really is focused on what it means to be literate in the various disciplines of English language arts, mathematics, science, and social studies. So our team works with educators in all of those areas on really lifting the literacy that's specific in those areas and focus on improving that motivational piece for students to get them engaged in their learning.
Let's elaborate on that. How does that often work, where you're working with either individual students or with their teachers to work with these students that they're in the classroom with each and every day to find that motivation and then turn that into ultimately a greater sense of learning and a greater effectiveness of that learning to help them catch up to where they need to be in an area that is so critical to all elements of their education?
Sure. So we're lucky in that the standards that drive the instruction that takes place in classrooms really leans into inquiry or problem-based approaches. So having meaningful issues for students. And so this year we've been working with district teams in our participating districts. We've come together every month and we help those district teams, which include central office, building leaders, teachers, instructional coaches. We help them set up some of the systems, including professional learning, that can help their teachers make that shift to those inquiry-based approaches that students find more engaging. So we have some documents that guide the work that we're doing that focus on what should be happening throughout the school, and then also what should be happening in each classroom in 6th through 12th grade in order to really achieve those goals that we're setting for students' literacy.
More information can be found on Oakland Schools and their programs by visiting oakland.k12.mi.us. Oakland.k12.mi.us is their website. You can also find Oakland Schools on social media at Oakland Schools on Facebook and Instagram, and on Twitter and Instagram. And on Facebook, you can find them at OS Michigan for more information and updates on their programs all throughout the school year and beyond. We're joined on today's edition of the program by Jenelle Williams, the literacy consultant at Oakland Schools, for a bi-weekly Oakland Schools Education Insider, focusing on literacy. And when we talk about this and we talk about this issue, it's often looked at from such a high level as being that critical piece, that game changer in education that affects all different areas. So when you have students that are improving on their literacy, when they're improving in the classroom, how do those results ultimately go on to affect down the line their overall education, their grades, their performance in the classroom and outside after they've gone through some of these programs?
Sure. Well, being a literate individual means that you're able to take in any kind of information, make sense of it, and then communicate effectively. And so clearly that is our end goal for all of our students, to help them develop that ability to consume information critically and also be able to share information as they move into the world. And so this has direct connections to our workforce. Clearly, we want folks that are able to read, write, and communicate in effective ways as they take on careers after 12th grade, as they go to university or college. So that's one goal that we're working toward. Additionally, we want to have a civically minded group of folks that are leading our country. And so we feel that this work is really essential for that as well. And then just at its most basic level, we really believe that all students have the ability to develop their literacy. All students have the ability to be successful in school. And we believe that by developing this while they're with us in 6th through 12th grade, we're also providing more opportunities for them to access higher education, to access college and university, and be able to navigate those classes, which really require a high level of literacy.
Again, more information can be found on Oakland Schools programs by visiting oakland.k12.mi.us. Joining us on the Megacast today for our Oakland Schools Education Insider is Jenelle Williams, the literacy consultant at Oakland Schools. And for parents or even for students who are looking to improve their literacy, they recognize that literacy or reading comprehension or any of these various issues that ultimately fit into that category of literacy may be a problem for them or for their students, what resources are available through Oakland Schools for these parents, for these families, and for these individual students?
Talked before about the professional learning for educators, which is a key way that we really have a direct impact on students. So our Oakland Schools disciplinary literacy team, our early literacy consultants, all spend a great deal of our time working directly with teachers. But we also are tied into that statewide work on literacy, which has a wide variety of resources available. All of those are available on literacyessentials.org, and that can include professional learning modules. It can include resources that teachers can use in their classrooms, resources for leaders that are looking to help teachers make these shifts. So we really focus on making sure that the resources that we're providing are at low cost or no cost, so that funding and budget aren't constraints to people being able to engage in this learning and improve literacy.
Janelle, anything else that we should know about the literacy interventions that are provided through Oakland County, or programs that both educators and individuals in these schools, whether it be students or parents or both, can engage in before we let you go?
I would just say that intermediate school districts across Michigan, including Oakland Schools, are service agencies. So our whole purpose is to support all of the educators in our region. And we're lucky enough at Oakland Schools to have a really high performing team of consultants providing services. And we just encourage folks to take advantage of all of the resources that are available and reach out to us with ways that we can be helpful.
Well, Janelle, we appreciate you joining us to tell us more about the literacy programs available through Oakland Schools that are being tapped into by individual school districts and by students and families right here in Oakland County. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.